Night was something I couldn't believe this story when it broke late today. Truly out of this world. It's hard to think of anything that, frankly, is more significant than this tonight. According to what is now an explosive expose in the publication The Debrief, a former Intel official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the Intel community, Inspector General, extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says possess retrieved and intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. Now, this whistleblower is not some kook. His name is David Charles Grush, and he's a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, as well as a veteran of the National Geospatial Intel Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office. Now, it was in that office where he served as the representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. Here he is in his own words.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
Are they electric vehicles? No. But like other whistleblowers we've heard from of late, the government bureaucracy will undoubtedly try to discredit Mr. Grush's account. But anticipating the fallout, he's warning that such ongoing government denial of this 80-year arms race, what he calls it, would be extremely dangerous for mankind, inhibiting our ability to be prepared for an unexpected non-human intelligence contact scenario. Joining us now is Ryan Graves, a former F/A-18 Super Hornet pilot for the Navy, who says he came across these types of aircraft. Ryan, I was stopped today in everything I was doing when this came out late today. But do you agree this is, at this point, about safety and our own national security at this point?
Oh, absolutely. It's never stopped being about our national security. What David has been able to do and the courage that he's been able to demonstrate coming forward, I think, are exactly what Congress was hoping for when they've enacted laws in the last National Defense Authorization Act in order to enable just this. Now, what you saw when you were on the F-18, when you were piloting the F-18, describe for us specifically. Certainly. We were flying out off the coast of Virginia Beach on a daily basis. And we started noticing on our radar, on our camera systems, and eventually our eyeballs, what appeared to be dark gray or black cubes inside of clear translucent spheres. These objects were typically anywhere between 250 and 350 knots and performing meandering maneuvers or even straight maneuvers upwards of supersonic. This actually lines up quite well with what Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office has recently communicated as being the most prevalent type of object that he's been seeing through his research. Spherical objects that travel anywhere from 0 to 2 Mach. Now, Ryan, the government has slowly had to reveal that these are indeed unidentified objects, that they cannot, they can't say what they are, but they're not regular. But their justification, essentially, for not being forthright about this initially was national security, correct? Certainly. Not from the angle of we're going to hide what's on our camera systems, but the fact that our cameras could perhaps see certain things or our radars could detect certain objects at certain ranges. That's typically the reason that's been explained why these videos and these images have been classified to the level they have been. I think Ryan, it remains to be seen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to play a little bit more from this whistleblower, then I'll let you finish your thought there.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
Ryan, again, this is the kind of stuff people would just be waved off as a complete insane asylum person for even speculating about just, recently, a few years ago. But now it's like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of these. What is the average American supposed to think about the government's credibility on this issue, given now what we're discovering, albeit belatedly?
Well, I think the average person right now just needs to sit and wait a little bit and see this process play out. David has provided a number of documents and pieces of evidence, to my knowledge, that Congress can then validate. And then they'll be in a position then to communicate that information to the American people. I truly believe that transparency is the only way this conversation is going to be resolved. And this is a great step forward in that direction.
Well, and certainly Congress has to be briefed on this regularly. I mean, you can't keep this information from Congress. I don't believe there's any justification for doing that. Ryan, I can't wait to find out more. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.